Welcome to the Texas Goat Radio Show. I am your host, Matorius. This is part 13 of the 1736 live stream by Owen. I am a whore, Benjamin.
Some gold and some. I liked his cartoons. His anti-NASA, anti-Bill Gates. He made me a silver ladle, and I'm a sucker for presents. I am. I'm like a bimbo. I'm like a whore. You get me some gold and some silver, and I'll be your best fucking. I'm not like that anymore. I still kind of am.
He is. Every single time. This is. I am so tempted to do a montage of this little speech right here because it is word for word every single time the exact same way, where he acts as though he is not, but then he has to admit that he is because he still wants it. Every single time, 1 + 1 equals Owen Benjamin is a whore. Give him gold, give him silver, give him money, and he will dance like a monkey. The clip of him saying, people hate Christianity. I'm not going to lie to you guys. People gave me gold. His soul is for sale. It's just, that's one of the reasons why he is so offended and so pissed off with the world is nobody wants to buy it. Not even Hollywood.
Someone sends me some gold, I'll really listen to their letter. And I thought that he was following a good path. Like, I related to him that he was an LA guy. He fell in love. I didn't know he had an ex-wife that it appears he cheated on his wife with the Asian. Okay? I had no idea that he was like a pro-pedophile guy who was married and played the guitar. I thought he taught himself the guitar. He pulled himself out of the LA hell and tried to make a better life for himself, telling the truth. And I have a strong, soft heart for that. Where somebody that was...
Him saying he thought that he pulled himself out, very rarely does anybody ever pull themselves out of anything. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. There's a reason why we were gifted the Holy Spirit. Very rare. There's a reason why we were gifted with husbands and wives and family and friends. Very rarely does anybody ever pull themselves out of anything. And I'm not saying that in order to say, well, you can't do it. You can. But you usually have help to do something. Now, as far as creating your own business and all that kind of stuff, you can do certain things by yourself. Absolutely. I'm not saying that God makes everything happen for you. That's not what I'm saying at all. But usually whenever there is spiritual entities present, because that's what we are. We're in a spiritual battle. It's not flesh and blood. Anyways, continue.
Kind of more in my world, like Los Angeles, drinking, partying, doing that shit. Not evil, but misguided. And then they get their girl pregnant, they get married, they want a better life, they realize that they're created, they get back to basics. I'm a sucker for that type of rhetoric, dude. And I didn't look past, because I'm not the guy that does deep dives. I'm not the guy that when I become friends with someone, I go back and look at their past. I don't at all. So I didn't I never.
Well, that's by a choice, because a lot of people would. If you're in a power position, if you're in a position of power, and Owen Benjamin is somewhat in a position of power. He has influence over at least a certain amount of people. And so that is a very sloppy, disrespectful way of going about it in order the reason why he does that, where he doesn't vet anybody, or at least claimingly, is self-deniability. What is it? Oh, well, I'm just ignorant of it. I didn't know. I had no idea. I'm such a nice person. I didn't look into them. I had no idea that they were corrupt. There's a word for it. Anyways, it's not because he's a nice guy. It's just because he doesn't want to be accountable for the people that he presents to his audience.
Google Jimbob. I never wanted to. I just didn't think about it. I'm like, I will take you as you are. I don't care what your status is. I don't care any of that. I'm like... And then during COVID, I thought that we had a good bond, and he was really into what we were doing with homesteading and stuff, and he sold me. And the fact he was doing these logic breakdowns in his car, I thought were awesome, about breaking down logic fallacies and NASA and all this stuff, and I thought it was really helpful for people. And then it just started, the darkness started coming out bad, and the resentment and the envy and the greed, and he started being this religious zealot.
I'm pretty sure he just jumped 2 years or so to the Trinity debate, where I think it was a growthful, from what I understand, from what I've heard people say and what I've heard Jimbob say, everybody except for Owen, it was an experience of growth. except for Owen. He still somehow spun that into he's the victim, even though the whole debate happened, in my opinion, because of Owen. I'm pretty sure almost everybody agrees that Owen was the one that was like, yep, let's do this. And then got heavily embarrassed by his lack of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And this is what we've got so far.
Where it's like only through him do you get to God and all this stuff, like really red flaggy stuff. And at first I'm like, let's just fight it out. Let's debate it. We'll make it funny. We'll attack each other. We'll show people that you can have a difference in opinion and religion and still be buddies. And it just got so bad. Like he was doing a jihad against me and the Bears immediately after that debate. Like pushing narratives that I'm a cult leader, pushing narratives that I'm...
Well, I'm pretty sure it was... I don't know if it would be called retaliation, but as you can tell, there's only one side to this story that's being painted right now. Nothing from Owen of self-accountability of, yeah, I was wrong. I said this. I did this. Nothing. It's all Jimbob's fault. And this is a very good example of just who he is in every relationship of his life.
Gay and everybody wants to suck my dick. And I was like texting him like, bro, you're literally pushing Reddit narratives now. Like, you're my friend. Like, can we have some maturity about this? I have all those texts, like tons of texts. And I'm like...
And yet he's never shown any of them. He has never shown any of them. This reminds me of Brandon Schwab saying, I've got 300 pages proving that Bobby Lee is the one that's in charge of my subreddit. Then show it. You can't or you won't because you can't. If Owen Benjamin had any proof whatsoever of anything, he would show it. You know why? Because that's what he does. He just showed pictures trying to paint this narrative of whatever.
Bro, like, can you, like, stop? Like, you're literally pushing lies about me because of our debate. Because he objectively lost the debate, and he felt really humiliated. He even told me he felt humiliated. Saying stuff like Jesus didn't pray, he fulfilled, and he just sounded dumb. Like, he didn't sound very, and he was like, he had all this support from the Trinity people that just wanted him to win because they believe, Jesus.
Some would say that that's growth. I'm not saying what he said is true, but say it is true. Hey, yeah, I was humiliated by what I said or whatever. Not that he humiliated him, but I humiliated myself because I said something. Have you ever believed something to be true? I wish I could remember. I wish I would have written it down. But there was a thought that I had for years, and I was certain of this thought. And then the first time that I said it out loud, the way it felt coming out of my mouth, and I don't remember who I was talking to, what it was. It could have been something as simple as a memory or whatever. But as soon as I verbalized it, there was no truth to it. And it was such a bizarre thing that it was a truth, and I'm throwing up bunny ears right now, quotations, that I was holding on to. And then as soon as I said it, it was no longer true because it just wasn't. Debates are important. Conversation is important. Self-accountability is important. All things that Owen does not want any part of.
All that. But objectively, he did not win. He embarrassed himself. And then
That's so exhausting that he uses that word so much. Objectively, he did not win. That's everything that I just said in one sentence, proves it in one sentence. He objectively did not win. Okay. No, not okay. No. No. This is what some abusers do. They just wear you down to where you're like, I don't even know. I'm not even going to argue with you anymore. All right. No, the answer is no.
Started digging a hole, and the hole just kept getting deeper. And when he was screaming, take off your bear name, be free of your bear name, he's a cult leader, he's a piece of shit, all this stuff, I'm like, dude. And then he was like streaming at the same time as me, and so then he records me while we're having a fight on the phone. He fucking puts it on the internet, says I'm blackmailing him.
No, they wasn't having a fight. Owen literally called him and said, hey, these are my expectations, and if you don't do these, then this is what's going to happen. And some would call that extortion. Some would call that blackmail. And whenever I say some, the law would. By definition. There are multiple videos on this. Multiple videos. And not by channels that just do what I do. And my channel is mainly about Owen. But other channels that have other things that they talk about. They show the audio. They show definitions. They show tweets.
And I'm like, bro, you're dark now. And so anybody at that point that sides with him is like, yeah, that guy's the guy I want to listen to. I just don't trust their judgment. I think it's really bad. I remember you setting up the debate and it sounded like a hilarious idea watching it. Yeah, I thought it was going to be, and like I did this opening that was really funny. I'm sure he deleted it because he looks so stupid now.
No. What he's referring to, I did see this, and I vividly remember this. He had this like minute and a half, 2 minute little speech that made him sound stupid. And I'm pretty sure it was Andrew that was, I don't know, you can go watch it. Listen to what he says about it, and then go watch the first 2 to 3 minutes of the beginning of it.
And he played it so serious, and him and his other ortho bro were so like intense and like gross. And I just had this feeling in my stomach like this is going bad. Owen, didn't he admit on your stream he lost the debate? Yes, and he admitted to me privately a ton. He's like, yeah, I am embarrassed.
No, he didn't. And if anybody can prove that, I would love to see that. And that's, I don't think there's any proof of him admitting it anywhere. And that's why Owen just said, and he admitted it to me privately.
Myself, I feel embarrassed. And he told me he feels fat. He told me he feels like he has big breasts. I swear to God, everything he's accusing me of, he feels. His ex-wife told Toronto Jew Bear that Jimbob always wanted to be a cult leader, and that he's like a really deranged guy. He looked dodgy. When I brought him to Idaho, one reason why I made fun of his George so much is none of my friends liked him. Like all my police friends assessed him as a weirdo and didn't want to be around him. And I was defending him. He turned before the debate. No one talks to a friend like.
So what he just said was the reason why I was making fun of his shorts is because all of my police friends assessed him to be a weirdo, and I was sticking up for him. Where are these police friends that he refers to? I know there's only one Vertec Tactical that is probably equally as disgusting as Owen Benjamin for allowing himself to be present with this disgusting, cowardly cult leader on a stream just as recent as a few weeks ago. So it's Coddington, Owen, Vertec Tactical, and Permy Bear. 4 grown adults participating in this disgusting, manipulative, predatory behavior. Innocent until proven guilty, though. Right?
He did. You came in open mind. Yeah, he was being super disrespectful before the debate. Like ankle biting, taking shots, making fun of my dead dog, which is fine, but I'm going to make fun of your gook wife. And so I just...
So in Owen's book, dogs are as important as wives. What happened to Owen's dog?
I'm like one of those, I'm like that boulder in the river that doesn't move. Like you can try your little...
What did Owen do to his own dog?
Scams. I mean, I've watched these little churchian scams my whole life. He was never honest in the debate, just running ortho scripts. When he said publicly that if the Orthodox Church told him to take a vaccine, he would do that, he's changed a lot. Like when he was doing those streams in the car, when he was doing jewelry, he acted much, much different. I'm not crazy for thinking that. It's kind of like if you listen to Joe Rogan 15 years ago, totally different guy.
If you watch Owen Benjamin, clips of Owen Benjamin, there was a video that I watched not too long ago. I didn't watch all of it, but it was some kind of a documentary. And it was just 6 years ago, maybe 5 years ago. I think it was shot in 2018. I'm not too sure. And just how he talks, or just how he talked back then to how he talks now, you can see the progression to vile, to venom, to evil.
Now is just a spiteful, angry, obsessive,
And it was an insight to the reason why, the motivation behind why. Because during this documentary, there's a part where he's sitting in his car and he's fuming. He looks pissed off. And he says, the reason why I'm pissed off right here is because I bombed. And so you're just seeing this comedian, this person who wanted to be a comedian and was somewhat successful, but only because he was able to come up with a few jokes. And then he realized that sometimes, the majority of the time, he is going to bomb. And so his motivation behind all of this right here the venom that he's spewing is because he just continuously bombs. That's my opinion.
Funny guy whose ego is so damaged that, like, if you question anything, he's, oh, what's your bear name? Oh, you probably suck Owen's dick. It's like, listen, man, you failed at this. Like, you're not a good content creator. Like, you tried. Like, you tried to be a professional artist and you failed bad. Just like you failed as a jeweler in Los Angeles. He tried to open up his own shop. He failed miserably. Lost everything. You know, married a little rich Singaporean there with a tremendously fucking weird family who go to porno shows, but they're super Christian, so it's all good. And he's failed again. He's just a failure. He's a failed man. And he can say,
look at his posture. Look, I can just imagine that he's sitting there with his elbows on his inner thighs, and his hands are just sitting there comforting himself. And it's almost as though he is a scared child talking about the big bad meanie that made him look like a moron in front of a lot of people.
like he said publicly that he would sue me, but he did some research and turns out I'm really not that influential, that I don't actually have an audience. I lost all my audience. It's all smoke and mirrors. After I started making fun of the Trinity, everyone turned on me. I started making fun of the Trinity in 2019, so let me see. It's been 4 years now. I seem to be coasting pretty well. And
I seem to be coasting pretty well. He turned on the Trinity in 2019. Huh.
You always reveal what you are by what you're mocked by. Like Jimbob, he values attention and power and money and accolades, and like he would lie and say that he was that I didn't make, because people are like, dude, Owen made your career. Like you didn't have a career before Owen. And he was like, I was a nationally syndicated cartoonist, but even before I met Owen. Liar. No, you weren't. You're such a fucking liar. Like you were a broken dude who was just doing pedo art, and you wanted to turn your life around. You latched onto us and you used us and exploited us as much as you could. And then you tried to burn it and destroy it for a little more equity as you left because you're fucking demonic. You know? And that's the deal. And if people like Ford Face want to decide, I try not to make it seem like...
Who's he saying, Ford Face? It might be somebody that I'm aware of, but it doesn't sound like it. That doesn't sound familiar.
If you choose him, you're against me. But I just wanted to reassess and reestablish my ethics and how you can like people I don't like and I can still be your friend.
But he's reestablishing his ethics. He has to spread his net out way thinner and way wider than it's ever been because he is coasting. You know what coasting means? It eventually comes to a stop.
You start promoting troll pages that are only about me. Like, I'm not going to promote your craft. Like, I'm not going to boost your clout. If I think that you're, actively...
I hope that there are people watching Owen right now during this live stream that see this live stream, and every single time that he goes off on a rant about MadebyJimbob, that it comes across as though, why would somebody be talking so much crap about somebody else? Man, I gotta check him out. I gotta see if what he's saying is real, because if so, then by golly gee willikers, I'm gonna support you, Owen. And then they do go check out MadebyJimbob, and then realize they do go look up the videos of the Trinity debate and how that started, and just realize how very little truth is in what Owen Benjamin Cares Troy Smith the 47th says.
Promoting people who want me dead. And I think that's pretty fucking reasonable. Like, I'm not going to boost your clout.
I'm going to end this on a normal level because I want to hear what he just said.
I think that you're, actively promoting people who want me dead. And I think that's pretty fucking reasonable.
Nobody wants Owen Benjamin dead. Absolutely no one. This is the Texas Goat Radio Show, and I'm your host, Matorius. As always, till next time.